of silver price manipulation. How do you feel about it? In this video, we're going to look at the evidence, and then you can decide for yourself, is the price of silver manipulated? What do you think happens to the price of silver when the manipulation does end? As we look at this evidence, keep that thought in mind. But before we do that, I want to say thank you, yes, you, for joining me today in the basement. I really appreciate you giving me your time. I hope you feel like you found a new silver and gold home away from home, because you are always welcome here in the basement. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So the first thing we're going to look at is this piece of evidence that there's an overwhelming amount of paper silver traded every day for each real 1 ounce of silver that you own. And look no further than right here, the U.S. debt clock, where we can clearly see the paper to silver ratio currently sitting at almost 401 to 1. What does that mean, you might be asking? That means that for each 1 ounce of silver that's produced every year by all the world's silver mines, there are 400 and almost 401 paper, unicorn fart dust, electronic contracts written on that 1 ounce. Do you see the overwhelming evidence of leverage and the potential for manipulation in this fact alone? This allows for massive volumes in paper, electronic silver, but also allows for major artificial moves. If we look at data from one day alone, June 25th, 2024, where we just did happen to have one of those major smashes downward in the silver price, the data is astounding. 23,600,000 ounces of paper silver traded in 15 minutes did the damage. Each one of the contracts is 5,000 ounces of silver. 4,720 contracts times 5,000 ounces comes to the 23,600,000 number. This gives the illusion like silver is selling off, but almost no physical silver is exchanged. And if we take a look at this chart, right, there's the volume right there during this one short 15-minute period, 4,700 contracts. Again, each one of those contracts representing 5,000 ounces of silver. And we can see how the move gets moved down. But think about that. And if we look back at other nearby 15-minute periods, if this was almost 25 million ounces of silver, I would imagine the two previous 15-minute periods would be another 25 million ounces. And if we look over to the right, probably another 25 million ounces. If we add all those up together in this short period of time where the price of silver, look guys, got smashed down between here and there, 75 million ounces of silver is very close to 10% of the entire world's silver output for a year, traded in a very, very short period of time, a couple hours. It's no wonder that some people think the price of silver is indeed manipulated. But what about just an average day on the COMEX? Paper transactions average almost 700 million ounces per day. Remember that the annual mining output is around 800 million ounces. But guys, that's an astounding number to think that every single day on the COMEX, the amount of paper silver in one day that's traded is darn near equal to what the entire silver mining industry puts out for an entire year. Next, we'll look at some smoking gun evidence that the authorities know this is going on and are doing nothing about it. But first, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex. They make this video possible. If you are looking to get your hands on some silver, gold, or platinum group metals, real metal, not that electronic stuff that they're dealing with at the COMEX, do yourself a favor and check out Pimbex. You'll find they've got a great selection, great customer service, and prices that are darn near impossible to beat. Also, thank you to our friends at First Mining Gold, Canadian gold developer with 2 multi-million ounce development stage projects in Canada. Learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And Fortuna Mining, gold and silver mining company with operations in Latin America and West Africa. You can learn more about them at fortunamining.com. You can decide for yourself, do we have smoking gun evidence that the silver market is manipulated? Remember Rostin Behnam, he's the head of the CFTC. Remember what he said after the silver squeeze in February of 2021? This meme from our friends at the Silver Degen Club sums it up. The resiliency and the market structures of the futures market really were able to tamp down what could have been a much worse situation in the silver market. Does it make you curious why the head of the CFTC would explicitly talk about tamping down the silver price? Well, maybe it makes sense when we take a look at this. Here we have a very interesting memo from the 1970s when they were just setting up the futures markets to trade the electronic paper, gold, and silver. This says it all in terms of what they were trying to accomplish by setting up these futures markets. It says, to the dealer's expectations will be the formation of a sizable gold futures market. Each of the dealers expressed the belief that the futures market would be of significant proportion and physical trading would be minuscule by comparison. Aren't we seeing that right now with the 400 to 1 paper to silver ratio? Also expressed was the expectation that large volume futures dealings would create a highly volatile market. Are we seeing that? Yes, but why would they want to do that? You might be asking yourself. Well, because in turn, the volatile price movements would diminish the initial demand for physical metals holding and most likely negate long-term hoarding by U.S. citizens. So what do you think? Is the price of silver manipulated? Leave a comment in the comment section. But what I think is important is to realize that you can only mess with Mother Nature for so long. Eventually, market forces prevail. Eventually, the paper electronic manipulation of the silver price and the gold price will end. Hey, I'll be here for you through it all. We'll sail these at what sometimes can be choppy waters in the precious metal sector, but we'll get through it together. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.